Today, on Running to Him,
Jesus was Jewish.
Slaves, not a
We
slave
need
to
to
human
remember
government.
that fact. Today's reading is Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 38, and we will be concentrating on verses 22 through 24. Luke 2, 22 through 24 says, "And when the days for their purification according to the law of Moses were completed, they brought him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. As it was written in the law of the Lord, every firstborn male that opens the womb shall be called holy to the Lord, and to offer a sacrifice according to that which was said of the law of the Lord, a pair of turtledoves or 2 young pigeons." Now today I'd like to dwell on the fact that Jesus was Jewish. He followed Jewish law and demanded that his followers do the same through faith. By law, a male child was presented to a priest for his circumcision on the 8th day of his life. This law was given so the child would be considered a member of the covenant with Abraham. In Genesis 17:13, God told Abraham to circumcise all males, including all boys who were 8 days or older. In Leviticus 12, the purification rites after childbirth are discussed. In verse 3, the 8th day rule is codified in Jewish law. Now, circumcision was seen as a time that the child would enter the familial relationship. That act did not ensure that the child would always remain, quote, in, unquote, the family. The child was free to leave or participate only minimally. Any child would remain Jewish, but that would remain in name only. In reality, many biblical history scholars remember Lot's descendants, the Moabites and the Ammonites. They obtained the heritage of circumcision and could have been a part of the history of Israel, but they chose a different path. God has a reason for certain ceremonies to take place in the life of a believer. Our celebration of Easter and Christmas reminds us what Christ has done for us, and I don't think it would be harmful to our walk with Christ if we remembered what God asked the Israelites to do in remembrance of his promises to them. Now, I'm not suggesting that we go back to a sacrificial system, but rather remember the times of the year, such as the Feast of Booths or First Fruits, as we remember our walk with Christ. Traditions aren't bad. They give us a sense of belonging and permanence. We, as Protestants, tend to disregard tradition because of our heritage through Catholicism. As the Anabaptist and the Puritan movements grew, we began to focus less on tradition and what was part of the past to focus on the present. This change of focus then became a us against them kind of scenario, and both groups thought they were correct. The result of that change is that we have forgotten the past, and the saying goes, if you forget history, you are doomed to repeat it. This forgetfulness has allowed cults to reappear in modern Christianity. We see every major modern cult's theology in early church history. Arianism, found today in the Jehovah's Witness, believed that Christ was like God, but not God. In Mormonism, Jesus is a created being, like the theology of adoptionism. And even in some mainline Christian churches, we find the teaching that God in the Old Testament is considered a different God from the God of the New Testament, as did the Gnostics of the 1st through 4th centuries. We as Christians must cherish our history so that we can have a closer walk with God. Jesus was Jewish. We can incorporate some of his Jewishness without following the law.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.